Welcome to College Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: will U.S. voters believe they are better off with Biden? Europe and the U.S. won't win the AI race by depriving themselves of talent. Letters from 7 Years' War open 250 years later. Johnson's 20-point night leads BYU in season opener. Cougars top Houston Christian 110-63. The China Project media shuts, blaming politically motivated attacks. Will U.S. voters believe they are better off with Biden? Financial Times. U.S. President Joe Biden is facing criticism over his economic policies as voters remain pessimistic about the state of the economy. Despite positive economic indicators such as low unemployment and strong growth, Americans are feeling the strain of high inflation and rising living costs. Biden's economic agenda, known as Bidenomics, is focused on public investments, support for middle-income workers, and competition policy. However, critics argue that his policies are exacerbating inflation and making everyday necessities more expensive. The public's negative perception of the economy could have significant implications for Biden's re-election campaign in 2024. Europe and the U.S. won't win the AI race by depriving themselves of talent. Financial Times. The U.S. and Europe must continue to attract global talent in order to succeed in the race for artificial intelligence, AI, supremacy, according to an op-ed in the Financial Times. The piece argues that policies aimed at curbing Chinese students and researchers in the US and Europe, such as the US's China Initiative, are misguided and self-defeating. Instead, countries should consider the importance of foreign talent in driving technological innovation and nurturing successful AI companies. The op-ed also calls for a focus on investing in digital capabilities and fostering an environment that encourages foreign students to stay and establish careers after graduation. Letters from 7 Years' War open 250 years later. BBC. Letters written in 1757-8 by loved ones of French sailors on board a warship, which were confiscated by the British Royal Navy during the 7 Years' War, have been opened for the first time. The letters were discovered by Professor Renaud Morieux from the University of Cambridge and were found to contain universal human experiences. They offer insight into how people coped with major life challenges and maintained connections during times of separation. Professor Morieux identified the crew members to whom the letters were addressed and conducted genealogical research into their lives. Johnson's 20-point night leads BYU in season opener. Cougars top Houston Christian 110-63. Associated Press. BYU dominated Houston Christian with a 110-63 win in their season opener. Spencer Johnson led the Cougars with 20 points and 7 assists, while 4 other players scored in double figures. BYU made 15 three-pointers in the game and shot 47.6% from the field. Houston Christian was led by Marcus Green with 18 points. The China Project media shuts, blaming politically motivated attacks. Al Jazeera. The China Project, an independent media company focused on Chinese politics and society, is shutting down due to funding problems resulting from politically motivated attacks. The New York-based site, formerly known as SupChina, was founded in 2016 and has gained a reputation for its coverage of China. The closure of the company has been met with tributes from journalists and academics, with Stephen McDonnell, the BBC's China correspondent, calling it depressing. Boswell scores 18, number 12 Arizona dominates Morgan State 122-59 in season opener. Associated Press. Number 12 Arizona opened coach Tommy Lloyd's third season with a 122-59 demolition of Morgan State on Monday night. The Wildcats dominated after an early feeling-out period, using 2 big runs to build a 35-point halftime lead, their largest since 1998. Arizona shot 55% from the floor, had a 58-20 advantage in the paint and scored 41 points off Morgan State's 25 turnovers. Caleb Love had 12 points in his Arizona debut and freshman KJ Lewis had 5 of Arizona's 16 steals in the Wildcats' 23rd straight home opening win. Cal upends St. Thomas, Minnesota, in Madsen's first game as Golden Bears coach. Associated Press. In Mark Madsen's first game as head coach of the California Golden Bears, they defeated St. Thomas, Minnesota, with a score of 71-66. Jalen Celestine led the Golden Bears with 21 points, while Fardaws Aimaq recorded a double-double with 16 points and 11 rebounds. Devin Askew made a tie-breaking layup and Jalen Cone added 2 free throws to secure the win for Cal. Brooks Allen led St. Thomas with 17 points. UPenn alerted FBI to anti-Semitic threats on campus, school's president says. CNN. The University of Pennsylvania and the FBI have launched a joint investigation into a series of threatening anti-Semitic emails sent to university staff. The emails threatened violence against members of the Jewish community, naming Penn Hillel and Lauder College House, according to Liz McGill, the university's president. Following police sweeps, no credible threats were found, but the FBI has been notified and a joint investigation is being conducted. The threats come amid increased tensions on U.S. college campuses, and at Penn, due to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. The 250-year-old love letters sent to French sailors from their pining wives. Telegraph. Love letters written by French women to their husbands who were captured by the Royal Navy during the 7 Years' War have been opened for the first time in 250 years by a University of Cambridge researcher. The letters, which were sent to French sailors, reveal the women's longing for their husbands and their frustration at their lack of communication. The notes also highlight the role of women in managing households and making important decisions while their husbands were away at war. Maths exam paper errors add up, sparking calls for an overhaul. The Sydney Morning Herald. The Victorian Curriculum and Assessment Authority, VCAA, has issued an apology for errors in the Year 12 Specialist Mathematics exam. This comes after a typo was discovered in the exam's final question, leading to the question being deemed invalid. The VCAA has decided to award all students who attempted the exam a correct score for this question. This is the second instance this year of students receiving a bonus point due to an error in an exam question. Teachers, students, and mathematics academics are calling for increased oversight of exam design to prevent such errors. Day Thomas scores 14 points to lead Cincinnati's 69-58 victory over UIC in opener. Associated Press. Cincinnati defeated UIC 69-58 in their season opener on Monday night. Day Thomas led the team with 14 points, while Dan Skillings Jr. and C.J. Frederick scored 13 and 11 points respectively. Cincinnati held UIC to only 2 points during a 4-minute stretch in the first half and led 40-30 at halftime. UIC closed the gap early in the second half but was held to 2 points in a 6-minute stretch, allowing Cincinnati to maintain a comfortable lead. Toby Oconee led UIC with 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 blocks. Ethan Pickett and C.J. Jones each scored 13 points for UIC. Hokies' crank-up defense beat Coppin State 100-55. Associated Press. Virginia Tech dominated Coppin State in their season opener, winning 100-55. Sean Padilla had 15 points and 10 assists, Lynn Kidd had 14 points and 11 rebounds, and Hunter Catore added 13 points. Virginia Tech shot 52% from the floor and made 13 three-pointers. They also outscored Coppin State 30-4 off turnovers and out-rebounded them 43-22. The Hokies led 45-19 at halftime and never let up, leading by as many as 47 in the final minute. All 11 Hokies who played scored in the game. Post's double-double powers Boston College passed Fairfield 89-70 in season opener. Associated Press. Boston College defeated Fairfield in their season opening game with a score of 89-70. Quinton Post led the Eagles with a career-high 31 points and 11 rebounds. Jaden Zachary contributed 11 points to the victory. Bryson Goodine scored 22 points for Fairfield. Boston College shot 49% from the field and made 11 three-pointers. The Eagles opened the second half with a strong run, extending their lead to 70-44. This marks Boston College's 72nd win in a season-opening game. Wisconsin gets offensive behind Hepburn in 105-76 win over Arkansas State. Associated Press. Wisconsin dominated Arkansas State in their season opener, winning 105-76. Chucky Hepburn led the Badgers with 20 points, while A.J. Storr scored 15 points and Max Klesmit added 14. Wisconsin had 12 players score in the game and shot an impressive 65% from the field. Arkansas State struggled with their shooting, making only 4 of 21 three-point attempts and committing 17 turnovers. Wisconsin will face number 9 Tennessee in their next game. Dawson Garcia's big double-double leads fast-starting Minnesota's 80-60 win over Bethune-Cookman. Associated Press. Minnesota started their season off strong with an 80-60 victory over Bethune-Cookman. Dawson Garcia led the way with 23 points and 14 rebounds, while also contributing 6 assists. The Golden Gophers had a dominant first half, outscoring their opponents 46-22. Jacoby Hetty led Bethune-Cookman with 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. Minnesota's roster includes 8 newcomers, 4 transfers, and 4 freshmen. Transfer Parker Fox made his debut with the team after missing the past 2 seasons with knee injuries. Hey there, folks! It's your resident 6 doctor, bringing you the latest news from across the 6 dimensions. Let's dive in, shall we? First up, we have news from the US, where President Joe Biden is facing criticism over his economic policies. Despite positive economic indicators, Americans are feeling the strain of high inflation and rising living costs. Biden's economic agenda, known as Bidenomics, is focused on public investments and support for middle-income workers. However, critics argue that his policies are exacerbating inflation. This negative perception of the economy could have significant implications for Biden's re-election campaign in 2024. Will voters believe they are better off with Biden? It's a question that remains to be answered. Moving on to the world of technology, an op-ed in the Financial Times argues that the US and Europe must continue to attract global talent in order to succeed in the race for AI supremacy. Policies that aim to curb Chinese students and researchers, such as the US's China Initiative, are seen as misguided and self-defeating. Instead, the piece suggests that countries should consider the importance of foreign talent in driving technological innovation and nurturing successful AI companies. It's a reminder that talent knows no borders, and collaboration is key to staying ahead in the AI race. In an intriguing historical discovery, letters written in 1757-8 by loved ones of French sailors during the 7 Years' War have been opened for the first time. The letters offer a glimpse into the universal human experiences of coping with separation and major life challenges. It's a reminder that even in the midst of conflict, love and connection endure. Now, let's switch gears to sports. In college basketball, we saw some impressive performances in season openers. BYU's Spencer Johnson led the Cougars to a 110-63 victory over Houston Christian with 20 points and 7 assists. Number 12 Arizona dominated Morgan State with a score of 122-59, led by Brooks Allen with 18 points. And in Mark Madsen's first game as head coach of the California Golden Bears, they defeated St. Thomas, Minnesota, 71-66, with Jalen Celestine leading the team with 21 points. Exciting times on the court. In other news, the China Project, an independent media company focused on Chinese politics and society, is shutting down due to funding problems resulting from politically motivated attacks. The closure of the company has been met with tributes from journalists and academics, highlighting the challenges faced by independent media in today's world. And finally, we have news from the world of academia. The University of Pennsylvania and the FBI have launched a joint investigation into a series of threatening anti-Semitic emails sent to university staff. This comes amid increased tensions on U.S. college campuses, and at Penn, due to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. It's a reminder that hate and prejudice still exist, and we must remain vigilant in our efforts to combat them. That's all the news for today, folks. Remember, knowledge is power, so keep seeking knowledge and stay curious. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these news stories. Do you think Biden's economic policies will have an impact on his re-election chances? How important is attracting global talent in the AI race? And what do you make of the discovery of those 250-year-old love letters? Share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned for more updates from the 6 dimensions. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.